Hey everybody, my name is Ty. Tonight we're going to talk about records and music. A lot of cool pickups. Got some LPs here, some singles, a little bit of CDs, one cassette, not many cassettes. This is all my pickups for the last, man, I would say probably 3 or 4 months since the last time I did a pickup video. So not a ton of stuff, but some good stuff. Some stuff I'm definitely happy with adding to the collection. A lot of new albums that just recently came out. So trying to keep up on the new releases that I'm interested in, of course. If you're into this type of stuff, if you're into hard rock, metal, vinyl record collecting, CD collecting, cassettes, all that good stuff, hit the like button, subscribe, comment down below. What are some of your favorite pickups in here? What have you been picking up? Love to interact in the comments. So thanks so much for that. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Um, yeah, let's do these first. I'm gonna do the cassette first. Rush, a show of hands on cassette. This is my only cassette I got. Paid $4 for this. A little steep for a cassette, but picked this up at Zia, added to the Rush collection. I love this live album. I'm a big 80s Rush fan, and to me, this is one of their best live albums for sure. I know it's a little controversial, but I love the set list. I think they're on top form here. And yeah, they own it on cassette is cool. I own it on basically every format now. So that's nice. This cassette is been used and abused. I listened to it the other day and it's rough. It's rough. That's the thing about cassettes. You're not really going to know what you're getting into until you pop it in the deck, honestly. I mean, you can kind of tell if something looks decent. And this, like the outer shell does look decent. It doesn't look like completely destroyed, but it's been loved. It's been loved. Uh, so, yeah, Brush, a show of hands. That's my only cassette for tonight. Next up, let's do some CDs. I got four of them here, so not that many. We'll start off with Fear Factory with Obsolete. This is or Obsolete, excuse me. This is really good album. I love a lot of Fear Factory stuff. Resurrection's probably my favorite song on here. Shock, Edge Crusher is a really good song too. The Cars cover with Gary Newman's really cool. Fear Factory, industrial, kind of death metal-y, especially the early records. So yeah, kind of love this trifold digipack. You know, not everybody's a digipack fan, but that's really cool. I dig that. So there you go. Fear Factory, Obsolete. Next up is a CD single, which I very rarely buy, and I will only buy them honestly probably for like this band. So Typo Negative with Cinnamon Girl. CD single, and this comes with Cinnamon Girl, the depressed mode mix, so very important there, and Love You to Death, the edited version. And there is the back cover, front cover, very plain. There's the disc. I mean, it's kind of a cool orange. Typo is always green, so it's a little different, aesthetic there for typo stuff. So had to add that to the typo collection. Really not anything I'm gonna be spinning anytime soon, but just a shelf piece. All right, these next two are really cool. This one I was super stoked to find, and honestly, just shocked that it was even there. So this is the Dark Side of Vakken, and this is the best of dark black death metal from Vakken Open Air. Here's the cover. So nice little sampler. There's the hype sticker for you. So this has bands like Venom, Morbid Angel, Destruction, Mayhem, Amon Amarth, Cannibal Corpse, Demi Borgir, Testament, Immortal, Children of Bodom, Critical Filth, Dismember, Sodom, In Flames, Emperor. So a ton of good acts on here. Obviously, all live stuff from Wacken. And I was super stoked to find this because I was like, oh, this is actually a German pressing. So it is SPV Steamhammer. So, it's German right there. And when I opened it up to check the disc out before I bought it, it had a pass in there. So I'm assuming this was bought or given out at Wacken. So it's straight from the fest, I'm assuming. Because I don't know, maybe this was just put in as a promo item, but I doubt it because it has, German phone numbers on there and stuff. So, yeah, was super stoked to get this. Really, really cool to add that to the collection. And last but certainly not least, got to have some more Rush. So I picked up the Rush Hemispheres 40th anniversary CD set. This is something I'll probably never own on vinyl, the 40th. You could buy the regular 40th anniversary edition on vinyl pretty easily, but I really want to get my hands on that super deluxe, and I don't know if I'm ever going to drop the money that it would require to get it. I may someday. I should probably do it sooner rather than later. That's what I would prefer to add to the collection is the super deluxe, but until then, I have the CD, and obviously you get the original album, which is cool. Obviously, great record. This too, you get live at Pink Pop Festival from June 4th, 1979. And then one thing I really wanted this for is there's a live show from November 20th, 78, live in Arizona, and it's basically the entire 2112 suite minus uh, part 5. So had to have that little bit of local Arizona Rush history. And I love all the alternate artwork that Who did for this stuff. And we have all the inserts, pretty cool discs as well. And it's a cool set. I picked it up used. I want to say it was like $10 or something. So I'll add it to the Rush collection for that. Add some sick live sets. All right. One thing I do not buy a lot of is 7-inch singles. I don't buy a lot of 12-inch singles or 10-inch singles either. I'm not a singles collector. I get it for a lot of people. If you're limited on space and stuff like that, it's a fun thing to collect. And there is some weird oddities out there, that's for damn sure. But to me, in the age of digital convenience, I get all this stuff around me is completely inconvenient, but like 7-inch singles are the most inconvenient, and I am not going to be playing 7-inch singles at all ever. So that's why I try to avoid them unless they're like special releases or limited releases or bands like I really love. All of these I'm about to show were all turned in at once at Zia Records on Thunderbird, and they all were really cool. And I could tell it was all from one collection, which I love. I love walking into a used record store, going through a new arrivals bin, and looking through it and just seeing, band after band or album after album that kind of coincides, and they all came in around the same date, so like this came from a collector's collection. So I love finding stuff like that, and that's what all of these are. That's for sure. So again, I don't buy 7 inches, but I'm going to show you a bunch of 7 inches. So, and I know that sounds oxymoronic, but sometimes you just have to do it. So first up, we got Anthrax with Indians. I know I got to get it out of this stupid sleeve, but yeah, Anthrax Indians. That's a great cover. I love it. And then this is Indians, and it's backed with Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, and Taint. So you get the Sabbath cover, which is really cool. There's the back, and a great song. Really cool 7-inch picture disc. I'm never gonna play this, so it's literally just a shelf warmer, but cool to add it to the Anthrax collection. Next up, another really cool one. This is a non for sale single of Accept, and this is Midnight Mover and Screaming for a Love Bite. So that's very cool. And this is a white label promo. Not for sale, right on the back. The front, Metal Heart, great album. Probably the coolest thing I found there was this, and that is Def Leppard's first EP. It's very cool, super clean too for how old it is, and it's just been hanging out in this paper sleeve forever. So I was super excited to add that into the collection. You don't run into that every day. It's not super expensive or anything. It's just something you're not going to see in the wild all the time, that's for sure. None of this stuff is. That's why I bought it all. Next up, let me flip this around. Yeah, this is Rat with Lay It Down, but it's the Japanese single, which is super cool. So you got the insert with it. I kind of love and hate that they used to do this with their singles. Because obviously you can lose this, but Japanese people aren't. American 100% would, and they would probably just throw it away. Um, But yeah, this is Lay It Down, and it's backed with Got Me on the Line. So a little bit of rat and roll for you. So yeah, super stoked to add that in the collection. And again, I think all this stuff was turned in together because all of it kind of coincides. Next up is Motorhead with Motorhead. This is very cool. I thought this was a newer reissue, but I looked it up before I bought it, and it is not. This is from '79. It's a 79 reissue of this single. So it's of the time, but it's on orange, which is really, really cool. And it's Motorhead, and we are backed with City Kids. So that was really cool to find. Really, really nice as well. And then to go along with that, we have Bomber. What a great cover. So we have Bomber, and this one is from 79 as well, and it's on blue. So super, super stoked to add that into the collection, both those, honestly. They're still so nice. Next up is a weird one, and honestly, probably wouldn't have bought this other than this very specific connection, and that's Zero with Oh Baby, but it's backed with Hold On, and this is a limited edition with an extra track featuring Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden on vocals. So yeah, had to add that into the Maiden collection. Just a random thing. Have not spun the song yet, so I don't know like how much Bruce is on it and how good it really is, but alas, I have it. These next two are probably the coolest things I picked up, and probably honestly they're my favorites as well. So we have Queensryche with Gonna Get Close to You, which is sick, but even better, it's a gatefold, which is kind of rare in that singles world. So there's all the guys, the kind of worst like band pictures ever. They had no idea what they were doing as far as the way they wanted to look, and it's hilarious. That whole Rage for Order era is just funny. Um, I kind of dig it in hindsight, but I can see how it probably turned people off in the time that were like just discovering Queensryche. But this is going to get close to you with Prophecy, and then record two is Queen of the Reich and Deliverance. And those are recorded live in Tokyo. So the legendary Tokyo show that everybody reacts to of Jeff Tate absolutely killing it. That's that show. Next up, one of the GOATs, one of my favorites, Iron Maiden with 2 Minutes to Midnight. I generally don't collect Maiden singles just because they're so expensive. But you can absolutely get some great artwork. Derek Riggs did such good work on some of his most underrated work is on these singles. That's for sure. So yeah, cool thing about Maiden too is you always get some cool B sides as well. And other than owning, I think just the Eddie's archive box with the B sides collection. I think the only other way is probably to own these physically. I could be wrong on that, but I think that is on streaming though. So yeah, this is 2 Minutes to Midnight, and it's backed with Rainbow's Gold. Very cool. You got the World Slavery Tour UK leg dates, which is very cool. Just a ton of dates, man. And yeah, I've always dug this album cover, sure, for sure. Just great artwork by Derek. So yeah, that's all the singles. And as you can tell, like again, I don't collect a lot of singles, but all those are really cool bands or bands that are very important to me, and they all kind of coincide. I could just tell this is all from one collection, and then just had to have it, had to pick it up. There was more stuff there that I think was from the same collection, but I didn't want to spend so much money on singles that day that I would later come to regret it. So that was the stuff that I absolutely had to have. Alrighty, so let's do LPs next. Full lengths. Got some cool ones here. I'm just gonna start picking them off. Brand new album by this band. It's their third album. That's Unto Others with Never Never Land. This is just the black version. This is a really cool record. I would probably say I like their other two records more than this. Their previous two, probably with the first one being the strongest. But this is really cool. It took me a while to get it, listen, like kind of really get into it. I've listened to it maybe 6 or 7 times now, and I really dig it. They went with way more of a Ramones kind of punkish vibe. If you don't know Unto Others, they're very gothic, metally, kind of typo influenced, Ramones influence, The Cure influence. If you like goth rock or goth music or even goth metal, you'll probably like Unto Others. There's a lot to dig there. Um, yeah, this record falls way more on the punk side probably than anything. I mean, the LP is 17 tracks long, if I remember right, and it's only one LP. So that tells you right there how short the songs are. And The deluxe edition has a Pet Cemetery cover from the Ramones, so you can kind of tell they were in kind of that vibe probably when they were writing this record. But there's a lot of cool tracks on here, a lot of really cool kind of mid-tempo ballads. So that is cool. They're kind of flexing their muscles in that realm, way more mellowed, gothy, but then also kind of a good punk feel too. So it's kind of a nice juxtaposition between the two styles. So absolutely stellar album cover too. So yeah, Unto Others with Never Neverland. This is just the black vinyl version. So yeah, they used to be previously called Idle Hands. I would check out their first record if you want to get into them. Start off with that one and then just work your way through. But another solid release by them. Again, not my favorite, but it continues to grow on me every day. So yeah, Unto Others with Never Neverland. Next up, we'll go with this one, another brand new album. That's Nightwish with Yesterwind. Really love that album cover. Absolutely stellar. And to me, this is a return to form. Nightwish, symphonic power metal band. Their last record, I did not dig at all. I think Anna and I listened to it one time and then bailed on it. But yeah, this is a really solid record. I've already listened to it probably 10 times the amount of times that I've listened to their previous record. And so that would be around 10 times, honestly, because I think I listened to that last record once and it was just like, this is not for me anymore. But this is really good. Return to form, heavy at parts, and keeps those symphonic elements, but retains the heaviness from like early Nightwish. I don't know if it's the best Floor record. Floor, the newish lead singer, like she's been in the band almost 10 years at this point, but still new in relative terms. And I don't know if it's her strongest record with her. I honestly think probably the first Floor record, Endless Forms Most Beautiful, is a little bit better than this. But I dig this a lot because I was super disappointed in the previous album. And we don't even own it. That's how bad we thought it was. And yeah, this is just on white vinyl, gatefold, really cool album. And yeah, really accessible music if you like type of, I could just call them like theater nerd metal. Like that's the perfect description for Nightwish, but they will always hold a special place in my heart. And this record is really solid. If you kind of fell off of the band after maybe Taria left, check this out. This is a good record. Floor is great on it. I honestly wish the mix was a little better and Flora was a little higher in the mix because she's such a great vocalist. Sometimes it kind of gets overpowered, her vocals in the mix, which is strange because she's so good and powerful singer. But yeah, sometimes the mix is just like a little muddy on it. I wish she was just floating over nicely over the music sometimes. But otherwise, a super powerful return to form. Because the last album I did not like at all. Alrighty, let's keep it running here. Let's just do Nightwish again. Imaginarium. This is their last record with Annette Olson, their second lead singer. This is what 2000. I want to say like 2009, 10, maybe. Correct me down in the comments below. But yeah, Imaginarium is a really cool record, kind of a concept record about a carnival. They did a movie with this too. This album's really solid from top to bottom, and they did a reissue of this, so I was super stoked to get it. I believe this is on white vinyl, and their newest album, Yesterwine, I got the white vinyl variant as well. So yeah, Nightwish with Imaginarium. This is Annette, so sounds a little different than what the current lead singer is doing. And honestly, Floor does these songs justice. Net's not a bad singer. She just never really fit the band. But yeah, I dig this record quite a bit. So happy to add that back into the collection. All right, let's keep it moving here. Had to just add this. Lincoln Park Meteora. Didn't have it. Seminal record for me in my childhood growing up. This is I want to say it's like the 20th anniversary edition. I can't remember, but it's on like a gold with a red splatter, which is really cool. I mean, obviously Linkin Park, this record is so big. Obviously, Numb is a giant song. Breaking the Habit. I remember watching the making of video for the video of Breaking the Habit. And honestly, it's probably like one of the last like really important music videos. Very cool video, anime style, and yeah, super sick. I remember watching like the making of and the countdown to the premiere of the video which is strange. That doesn't really exist anymore at all. But yeah, Somewhere I Belong, obviously, Faint, another huge giant song. So so many big giant singles on here. So yeah, Linkin Park, the first two records, those are the records I celebrate. Hybrid Theory and Meteora. So figure I'd add this into the collection finally. It was still relatively cheap too. I even think a new copy was like $24, which is pretty good for vinyl these days, especially new stuff. So yeah, that basically completes me on the Linkin Park. This I went into the record store to pick up something else, a new release that came out that we'll get to. And this one I was super stoked to see. Didn't even know it was coming out, but Lamb of God, Ashes of the Wake. It's the 20th anniversary pressing. What's really cool about this, it is autograph, so Zia edition autograph. So that's cool. Got the guys on there. One thing that kind of sucks, the current lineup of the band signed this. So there are guys that aren't on this record uh, that signed this, which I hate. I I'm kind of a stickler for that. That's why I really don't get things signed. Because if I'm gonna go to a signing, like I'm just gonna be like, hey, only you guys sign this if you played on it, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy. So, and I don't want like somebody who hadn't played on my on a record. I don't want them signing my copy of that record. Like I thought about doing the Queensryche meet and greet for their upcoming show in November, and I'm probably not because I'm just gonna be like, hey, Eddie and Michael, you guys sign this. The rest of you, fuck off. But I would never do that. So obviously, I'm not going to. I could get some of the newer albums signed too, but to me, it'd be more cool to get obviously older albums signed, especially by the members that were on those albums. So that kind of sucks about this, but cool to own nonetheless. It's a record I would have owned regardless, so might as well just owned a signed copy of it. It was the same price. And this is the one of two Lamb of God records that I really like. This record and then Sacrament. I mean, those are the two records that a casual fan's gonna love, and I am definitely a casual Lamb of God fan. I've seen them multiple times, but not by choice. They were just always on festivals. But really cool band. I think they're all really cool dudes. I love the story of the band, and they're still going strong today. One of the biggest bands in the scene still, so that's impressive. This one was super excited that it got reissued. Alice in Chains, Black Gives Away to Blue. This is the 15th anniversary pressing. When it is a reissue of the Craft Recordings pressing. So I am actually super excited to spin this because I own the original pressing on like clear vinyl, and it sounded okay. I'm disappointed that I sold that years ago because when I got back into collecting, that went for a pretty penny that I didn't want to pay. So I was super excited that this got reissued. We're finally getting like all the Alice in Chains stuff reissued. We're nearing the end, which is actually really cool that all that stuff's available to people again. So yeah, Alice in Chains, Black Gives Way to Blue. This is the reunion record with William Duvall replacing Lane. Obviously, never can replace him, but filling in, I should say. And I love this record. This is my second favorite Alice in Chains record. Maybe some days the first. My number one Alice in Chains record. We did do an Alice in Chains ranking on the channel, so you can check that out if you're into them. And yeah, I absolutely adore this record. I saw this tour a couple times. I saw the reunion tour before this. So yeah, I'm definitely not a William hater. It's just as much as the other guys. It's just as much as Jerry and Sean and Mike's bands and as it was Lane's. So yeah, I'm super stoked to finally get that back into the collection, especially with the craft recordings. I'm hoping it sounds better than the original. Next up, was super stoked to find this. I found this when I got all those singles that I showed off earlier. But Motorhead with Orgasmatron. This is an original pressing from '86, right? Didn't this come out in '86 or '84? Why is it not on here anymore? '86. There it is. So yeah, in cellophane too. There's a little bit of dog chew up here, but it is what it is, man. To find that nice an original pressing, vinyl is super clean. Yeah, this is a great album too. Great freaking cover. You got Snaggletooth on there. Uh, Crane version of Snaggletooth, which is sick. So yeah, Motorhead with Orgasmatron, great album. Super stoked to find an OG copy of that, especially that clean. Next up is a really cool new release. And this went down to like half off on Amazon. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna buy in at that. This is Van Halen with For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. This is the big deluxe edition set. I was kind of on the fence with it because I just bought the Hagar box set, and this is included. So I was kind of like, I don't really want it. You know, you do get a couple extra discs. You get disc one, which is the original album remastered, and it is on 2 LP, which is nice because the one in the box set is just a single LP. So this sounds better. So that's good. You also get a disc two of rarities and a bunch of live cuts. And then you get a Blu ray with the Live at West End Marketplace show from Dallas, Texas in 91. So definitely some cool stuff on here, but I was just on the fence because I didn't want to spend $100. Like, that's basically what I spent. I think that's what I spent for the box set, and then it went down to half off. So I got this for 50 and absolutely had to have it for that. So there's the inside and then the disc. So yeah, for that, it was a no-brainer. Really cool hardback book style too. So that is very nice. Gonna hold up over time. So yeah, finally own that, which is good to own it out of the box set and get all the extra stuff. Maybe my album of the year here, Unleash the Archers with Phantoma. Yeah, Phantoma. This is their, I want to say like fourth or fifth album. Canadian power metal band, female fronted, absolutely stellar. Their last two records are just stellar. This record and the record previous, they're nailing it on all front. Yeah, I would highly recommend these guys if you're like trying to dabble into power metal and you want something more modern. This is a great starting point. This record in particular is awesome. It's a concept record, a lot of like talking about AI and AI's influence on culture and music and stuff. So obviously really relevant. And yeah, great album cover too. It's really cool. It's a gatefold, super sick album. Brittany, the lead singer's amazing. She's a great, probably one of my favorite vocalists going today, for sure, especially female vocalists. Like she just kills it on every album. She kills it live. Just excellent band. Give this album a shot if you want to get into any type of newer power metal. That's very accessible, very good. This is very well produced. Yeah, just super stoked about these guys, and they're still killing it. So yeah, Unleash the Archers with their new album Phantoma, probably my album of the year so far. We'll see if it makes it to number one. We're almost at the end of the year, which is crazy, but yeah, great album. Let's move on here. Keep it rolling. I got a twofer here. So Norwegian black metal band Ulver. This is their debut. These were reissued by Century Media this year. So yeah, this is the debut from 95. I thought it was 94, but I guess 95. That's the copyright. This is Bergtat. I have to brush up on my Norwegian, but obviously a great album cover. Super cool. This is like on a blue. I'm not gonna take it out, but it's like a blue. Just matches the record perfectly. Uh, Variant and yeah, very interesting band. They're very classical influenced. That record still has some black metal influence on it. It came out during that Mayhem '94. Day Mysterious just came out, so it does still have that influence kind of rubbed off on them. This record is their second record and not black metal at all, but just a really good classical, honestly avant-garde rock record. There is still some tinges of some metal, but honestly not really at all. um, Absolutely gorgeous album cover, and this is their second record. This is Sveld's Anger. I think I'm saying that right. And yeah, another cool edition. Cool things about these is these mixes are directly from a vinyl box set they put out, so they're specifically mixed and pressed specifically for vinyl. So they sound excellent. So super stoked to add those into the collection. Honestly, Ulver kind of went too beyond over my a dumb head, honestly, later in life. But those two records I absolutely love, especially that second record, man. It's very calming, chill record. And again, you'll look them up and you'll see like black metal references and be like, "Ugh, I don't want to listen to that if you don't like that type of stuff." But they're more black metal adjacent than actually black metal. So Alrighty, moving on. Let's see here. Typo. That's Bloody Kisses. This is the Suspended in Dust 30th Anniversary Edition. Uh, there's a little bit different variants on here, so they put this out like a year later or so because Peter wasn't happy with the original Bloody Kisses. I don't know why, because I prefer that version, the first version. But you get a different album cover, so from the same photo shoot but a different picture, and then you get Suspended in Dusk. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's Suspended in Dust is on here and replaces. I can't remember what it replaces, but the track listing is a little bit different. So yeah, they finally put this out on vinyl, and of course I was going to pick that up, add it to the Typo collection, and of course it's a green variant. So yeah, Typo Negative Bloody Kisses, and this was I'm almost positive it's Run Out Groove. So yeah, I just got the Amazon variant. I didn't splurge for some of the other variants, but it is what it is. Added to the Typo collection. DOC with Secret Treaties. This is what, 74, right? Isn't it 50 years? Yeah, 74. So Secret Treaties. Uh I'm a big BOC fan. But they're a band that I'm continually learning about. So I'm constantly diving into the back catalog, tons of albums. And anytime I see something for cheap that's clean, I'll try to buy. This record is hard to find really clean because of the white album cover. And also, it's 50 years old now. But yeah, this is a super clean copy of it. I want to say this is an original pressing, but I can't remember. I know it's added on my Discogs. Link down below if you want to correct me. But yeah, another good BOC record for the collection. Let's do this one. Devin Townsend, Carrier. I absolutely love Devin Townsend. I love all the stuff he's ever done. Devin Townsend Man, Devin Townsend Project, Strapping Young Lad, this solo stuff just under Devin Townsend. And yeah, this is his '01 album. Very different than his metal stuff, but absolutely stellar album. And finally got reissued on vinyl. So I was going to pick that up. All his stuff tends to go out of print and gets expensive like relatively quickly, and he's kind of a niche dude in that prog realm. So yeah, had to have it when I saw it. So Devin Townsend with Teria, great album cover too. Next up is some Japanese stuff. Gary Moore with Dirty Fingers. I can't remember where I bought this. I want to say it was Zia. Got the top obi, which is kind of rare. I don't think I've ever seen a top obi. Usually they're on the side. But yeah, top obi. So Gary Moore, Dirty Fingers. Absolutely, one of my favorite guitar players of all time. Gary Moore. Obviously, all his solo stuff. I really love a lot of the '80s stuff and the metal hard rock stuff that he did in the mid to late '80s. But yeah, just more very clean. This is cellophane too. Man, the Japanese took care of their stuff. They 100% did. And this might have been imported and could have been here in the US for a long time, but probably not if it's this nice. So it's probably relatively recently that it came over. And recently, I mean, maybe in the last 10, 15 years. But yeah, super clean, super, super great to add that to the collection. Love me some Gary Moore. Check him out if you want to check out blues, guitar, based hard rock, and also his kind of metal stuff. His Thin Lizzy album is one of the best Thin Lizzy albums as well, I would say. But let's do these. So In Flames did a bunch of reissues recently, and a lot of their albums kind of had a anniversary, like a 30th or a 25th or a 20th, all within this year. So they did a bunch of reissues. So Lunar Strain, the first album. This is the web store exclusive. So this is on white and red Sunburst vinyl, limited to 500 copies. Swedish Melodeath. This is very much in that realm. Their first album is kind of an oddity because there's a lot of two guys that are very important to that band that aren't on that record, but it's a super good record too. In Flames with Colony, this is the 25th anniversary edition, and this is also not the web store exclusive. This is the only one I missed out on, but it's just a pressed on silver vinyl. 180 grams. All these two were remastered at Sterling Sound, so they sound excellent. Great stuff. In Flames with Colony. More In Flames. I'm almost done with In Flames. It's super crazy because a lot of their stuff was well out of print for a long time. Soundtrack to Your Escape. Really dig this record. I like a lot of their stuff. I know a lot of people fell off when they started mellowing out, but I love their stuff. It's like comfort food for me. They're very integral to my extreme music love. Let's just put it that way. So, yeah, this is Soundtrack to Your Escape. This is a 2 LP. This is the 20th anniversary edition. It's on transparent turquoise and black smoke vinyl, strictly limited to 500. So, this was a web store exclusive. It was one of the ones I got. And then last, probably least too, definitely my least liked album out of all of these, is In Flames with Siren Charms. It's the 10th anniversary. It's epic crazy. So 2014. Great album cover. Strictly limited out of 500 clear and black smoke vinyl. So yeah, that's all the In Flames. Almost done. I think there's only like maybe like three or four that I need still that they got to repress. So eventually we'll get those. This one I got day of. Super hyped record for me and a lot of people. It's the sequel to a lot of people's favorite album by this band. That's Winter Sun with Time 2. This is the white vinyl variant. Yeah, Time One was a very big record for a lot of people. I like Forest Seasons quite a bit. Winter Sun is kind of an extreme avant-garde power metal, sometimes death metal, just a very interesting kind of proggy-ish band. They're kind of very hard to describe. This is a good album. Does it live up to Time One? Probably not. I would say no. I've listened to this 5 or 6 times now, and it's definitely going to be in my top 10 for the year, but I don't think it lives up to Time One, and I don't think it lives up to Forest Seasons, that's for sure. It maybe kind of tops the first album, the self-titled, but yeah, Time 2 is very good. It's just not that peaked. I don't think it outdoes the hype. I think it kind of falls a little short there. But absolutely beautiful album cover. It's very Eastern influenced, obviously, with that album cover. The music follows that theme as well. So, pretty cool. If you're into like traditional Japanese instruments and stuff, like a lot of that's on here. So, another good record from them. I just wish it would have lived up to that Time One hype. But it's a cool record, and I got a feeling it's going to grow on me more as time goes on. Next up, we've got this, which I was actually super stoked to find because I didn't pre-order it. I thought I wasn't going to be able to get it. But this is the Via Records exclusive Plutonium pressing of the Return of the Living Dead soundtrack. So absolutely stellar comedy horror film and an absolutely stellar soundtrack. A lot of, obviously punk inspired by you can tell by that cover, but one of the greatest soundtracks of all time for one of the greatest movies of all time. Definitely one of the greatest horror comedies of all time, maybe the greatest. Absolutely love the album. Done a really cool green. I'm not going to pull it out, but yeah, this is the Zia Records exclusive, limited to 300. Absolutely love that cover as well. So super stoked to find that. Last but not least, my most recent pickup is this, and this is probably my most disappointing release so far of the year. And that pains me to say because I absolutely adore this album. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. But that's Mastodon's Crack the Sky. This is the 15th anniversary edition. Kind of weird. I'm more of like a 10-year, 20-year, maybe 25-year, 30-year type of person. Tyler and I were just talking about that the other weekend. But for this album, I'm gonna splurge for anything they put out. This is a really cool box. I dig the box. I don't really like the new artwork. I love the original art so much, but this is a cool box. So you get the album remastered, which is cool, and then you LP2 is Crack the Sky the score. So it's just all instrumentals, which is very cool. You get a Blu-ray with Crack the Sky 10th anniversary animations, Crack the Sky the movie, and then the making of Crack the Sky. So that is cool. A lot of cool stuff for fans who want to dive deep into this album. It's an absolutely stellar album for me, in my stellar and seminal into my prog rock, prog metal journey. I think for a lot of people it was, and that's why I'm kind of disappointed in this. So the box is very nice. Not disappointed in the box, but It comes in just paper sleeves, kind of sucks. So this is the regular album, and it is on a gold variant. There's no poly inners. I still have to poly line this. I literally just got this like last weekend, so I still have to put the polys in it. Um, so that kind of sucks. I mean, here's the hype sticker. There's no polys. It's not even 180 gram. I spun the album, and it's full of noise. And I cleaned it half-assedly, I admit. I need to do a deep clean to it, but I was not impressed with the sound. It sounds just as good or as bad as my regular pressing of it, which sucks. Because I used to own a 45 LP, 45 RPM LP version, 2 LP. This is just a single as well. There's a lot of music to stuff on a single album for this. And I used to own a 2 LP, 45 RPM version that came out originally. That was like a special edition. That was the best sounding album I had, and that unfortunately got purged in a sale. But there's the Blu-ray, and we get magnets, which is cool. Don't see that often. Here's the book, which is more of the traditional artwork. I wish they would have just went with this. It's just like a color variant of it. And then we get a nice poster, and then you get another LP with the score. So I'm not gonna pull those out, but the box set itself is cool. I like the content. Um, like you get the making of, you get animations and behind the scenes stuff, which is super stoked. I mean, it's super cool, and I'm super stoked about that. But as far as the album itself, I just feel like it was done dirty. Like I feel like a 2 LP version of this set would have been nice. I don't think there is. I think this was the top of the line edition that they put out. I would have liked a 2 LP version, maybe 45 RPM, just because I was not impressed with the sound when I spun side one last night. It's like, ugh. I love this album. And digitally, the remaster sounds excellent. I love it. And you're kind of the law of diminishing returns here. You're remastering a 15-year-old album. So, like, what are you going to get out of it? It's a digital album already. But it is what it is. I'm still going to buy it, hopefully for a 20th anniversary. I'm still going to buy anything that they put out for this album because I love it so much. But hopefully for a 20th anniversary, we get something more special. This will do for now, I guess. It's nice to have added to the Mastodon collection. But anyways, guys, that's it. That's all my stuff over the last 3 or 4 months, probably. So if you like this type of stuff, hit the like button, like I said below. Subscribe, hit that button. I'd appreciate you sticking around with me. I got some ideas for some more videos that'll be coming out on the channel, hopefully relatively shortly. But anyways, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace.